coming from all across Inuit Nunavut. We're here together in one room is pretty amazing, and I hope we can take advantage of that gathering and make all these connections today. Now, today we're moving on a little bit from yesterday, which was about honoring teachings and framing OneHealth. And just as a reminder of some things that we had talked about yesterday, where we had really great opening with the performance, and we had our welcoming. We heard from the Honorable Sheila Kluche about the history and the struggles and how we're all connected. We heard from our elders advisory discussion about how we heard lots of great things, some of which included sometimes the cultural clashes between Indigenous people and Western society can be down to the core, and to remember those when we're going forward. We also heard from the Greenlandic perspective and about the amazing Bachelor of Science in Biology program, which is very exciting. We heard what it's like to be a practicing doctor in Greenland, and how perception of disease is different between cultures down to the language, and how we need to consider that as well in our work. We heard from the Inuit Nunanga perspective, from Jason at NWMB, from myself, and Jamal and Sharon at NRI and NTI. Now that was to kind of frame OneHealth. Now today we're moving on to more stories. I'm in collaboration going forward. Now we're going to have a few speakers this morning. There is a break between the two sessions. I know it's not there, but there is a break. We'll have time for coffee and tea. And then this afternoon, after lunch, we'll have in-person workshop. So that's just kind of the layout of today. Now, why don't we get started with our first session? We're going to have 3 speakers. Our first one is Nancy Mike, who is originally from Panniqtuuq, Nunavut. She's formerly trained as a nurse and is also a well-known artist and performer, and she is currently a researcher at Qaujigiartiit Health Research Centre.
I'm gonna try out a slightly different way of presenting. I normally like to do it on a PowerPoint presentation, but I went with a more of a creative story. I enjoy writing. I wrote a children's book about my experience as a child when my late father would bring me baby seagulls to raise. And so with that in mind, I kind of decided that maybe I should put a story into the information that I'd like to share with you. And then after that, I will show you a diagram of what I'm about to talk about, which was written by myself, Gwen, and Sephora. And I'll talk a bit more about it as well. So I just want to introduce myself again. My name is Nancy Mike. Family call me Ayakulortuk, Elisapi, Aku, Nayaryuk. Other names I have are Sailasi, Makittuuq, Uluta, Kapik, Aisaki, Kullualik Mike. My parents are Ina Kullualik, Amma late Levi Kullualik. I grew up in Panniqtuuq, born here in Iqaluit. English is my second language that I had to learn at the age of around 9 or grade 6 maybe. Or I guess some of it was probably learned while watching The Price is Right with my older sister. I grew up going hunting and camping with my family. My 2 favorite places outside of Panniqtuuq are called Panniqtuuq and Qaujigiartiit. Panniqtuuq was a place where we went caribou hunting and fishing as a family. I truly believe that's where all my skills and knowledge come from. And so I will tell you a story which is partly from a lived experience, but also I made it kind of a made-up story to add to it. So the title is Hunting with Dad. As the story goes, I would first like to acknowledge the land we are on, a place that our ancestors have occupied for millennia. I would also like to thank our elders, Nunavut, and our sila, and those that provide us food from the land to keep us nourished and warm. First, I would like to tell you a bit about who are in this story, who the characters are. Imaki is an 8-year-old girl that was born in Panniqtuuq and loves to play outdoors. She is fierce, patient, and absolutely loves her siblings, but she will not say it out loud. Imaki lives with her father, Levi. Levi is a full-time hunter, unilingual, Inuit speaker, was born sometime in February. We're not sure what day exactly, but we celebrate his birthday on February 21st. He knows the land and waters like he's a newborn in a mother's womb, cozy and well. Jimmy is a 6-year-old boy who has been chosen by the collective community and family to be the future hunter in the family, because we know Levi will not always provide for the family, as he's starting to become weaker. He will have to choose between hunting and westernized education because it's almost impossible to do both in this day and age. He has already caught his first polar bear at the age of 5. And when he is in town, he plays outside almost all the time, and then you will hear footsteps running up the stairs and hear, "I really have to pee." And afterwards, he will grab a banana and maybe a juice box and go back outside to play. He is learning the environment without knowing that he is, because at this age, it's play. Along with Imaki, Levi, and Jimmy, we also have Imaki's best friend, Gina. Imaki and Gina are inseparable. They want to be together at all times and wear the exact same clothes and learn exactly the same things in life as much as possible. When one of them is given an opportunity to learn how to make a pair of mitts, for example, the other follows and does the same. Everyone in town calls them twins. This is a bit about the characters in this story. As Imaki goes outside of their home, they look up to the sky and observe Sila. As she uses all her senses, she notices that it's nice and breezy. The sun hits her face and she squints her eyes and sees birds flying by. She smells the nuna. The nuna smells like those small purple flowers are blooming, and the berries look like they will be big and juicy this year. She excitedly tells her father, "Atata, there's berries growing." Imaki is excited for when they are able to take a break from westernized education to go out on the land and be with her family. When Imaki was born, she was born when caribou were at their best to provide skins for warm clothing. This season of Tuktuit caribou are called kulavak. Kulavak caribou are perfect for warm, breathable, flexible winter clothing. Imaki has watched her mother sew caribou skin parkas. She is not allowed to ask questions, but instead watch and learn. She has done this from a very young age. This practice helps her to observe every little thing. Imaki's father wears his caribou skin parka as he hunts in the winter. It is cold, and when he puts his caribou skin parka on, Imaki notices how it smells, and that smell brings so many good memories of the whole family working together while in Panniqtuuq, a place that smells and tastes like salt, where they hunt for caribou. Imaki's father and brother hunted this beautiful skin tuktu that is now their father's winter parka. Imaki's father, Levi, appreciates his parka in a subtle way and smiles with his eyes. Imaki was named after a family member who had passed away right around the time she was born. When she was born, her sanayi, what we might call The gift giver, or the maker, of the newborn baby was present as her mother gave birth. So then her sanayi gave her the name Imaqi, after a woman that was a matriarch in the family and had made many garments for her family to make sure they stayed warm. She was resilient, strong, and seemed to know exactly what her family and community needed. These qualities are now being instilled in Imaqi as she grows, as that is how her family respects those that have passed. Her namesake also loved berry picking so much that, as what Imaqi is thinking about as the fall is just around the corner. September has come, and Levi says, "We are going on a family camping trip. We need to plan and make sure we have enough supplies, enough gas, and food." The whole family gets together to see who will be available to come. Imaqi's oldest sister is staying home as she has to work and pay the bills. Imaqi is slightly confused because it means she'll have to miss school all of September, because that is when the caribou hunting season starts. But she is so excited regardless of the confusion. She knows she will get to eat tunnuq and pick berries. Imaqi asks her father if she can take her best friend with her. He agrees. As they arrive at their camp, the whole family helps to carry the supplies to their camping ground. Jimmy walks around and finds a stick to play with. He knows every rock and every hill in this area already. He points at one rock. "Nayaqyuk, look at that rock. That's your pretend baby, remember?" Imaqi raises her eyebrows to say yes. As they settle in Panniqtuuq, the following morning, Levi asks Imaqi and Gina if they would like to come with him as they hike to look for caribou. They say yes, not knowing how much hiking it takes. Levi takes them over 3 big mountains, takes about 3 hours to get there, and 3 hours back. The Nuna is so luscious, they see caterpillars, butterflies, ducklings, even a cocoon. These seem to be all kinds of things. There seems to be all kinds of things that help Imaqi and Gina to use their imagination. As they hike, Levi notices caribou tracks and caribou poop. Levi puts the poop in his mouth, and immediately Gina and Imaqi look at each other in disgust. They're wondering what the heck he is doing. He explains, "You feel their poop and taste it to see how fresh they are, because it will determine how far they are and where they might be." Levi and Imaqi and Gina think this is gross, but also very fascinating. A bee flies by. Turns out Levi is extremely terrified of bees. He runs without screaming, but you can feel his terror. And so Gina and Imaqi run too. Now, this is a learned behavior. Imaqi is now also terrified of bees. He can hunt polar bears, but bees, no thank you. They laugh as they continue their hiking. They do not come across caribou, but they know they are close by according to the tracks. As they grow older, Jimmy realizes that he will come across financial struggles because he did not get to go to school. He learned how to hunt and be with his father. Sometimes Levi has some behaviors that are tied to his trauma. His father's and grandfather's dogs were slaughtered, and they were no longer able to travel. But Imaqi and Jimmy are wise enough to understand where the trauma comes from. As Imaqi and Jimmy grow older, they realize that their father and mother amongst their community member extended family has taught them many things in life. To them, it was play and camping, but their parents and grandparents had thought out exactly how their lives would turn out to be and what their roles would be as they become adults. Imaqi has always loved going to school and now has her PhD And Jimmy only completed up to grade 8, but he is extremely knowledgeable out on the land and can provide food and knowledge to his siblings and community. Today, Imaki has to provide financial support to Jimmy because our society does not support our hunting culture well enough. But that's okay because now Jimmy gets to hunt and carry that knowledge and teach the younger children and also provide food for our community who is, addressing many societal issues that we face today, which are all tied to our colonial past. Imaki is so thankful that her brother can provide food for them because now Imaki's children can eat and experience what it's like to be camping, even though Levi is no longer with us. Jimmy has a newborn baby and now named after Levi. And we are hoping that Levi gets to carry those qualities that Levi had as a hunter and a unilingual Inuit speaker. Qoyennami. Gwen, I don't know if we have the infographic. I'll just wait for a second before I go ahead with the next. So this is the Inuit Qaujimajatuqangit health and well-being system, a holistic, strength-based and health promoting model for Inuit communities. You'll notice that overall the system is a culturally grounded approach to public health that recognizes the importance of Inuit knowledge, systems and practices in promoting health and well-being, and that all members of the community have a role to play in the system. It emphasizes the interconnectedness of all aspects of health and the need to address health issues in a holistic and culturally appropriate way, and the need to maintain harmony and balance. This is based off of an article that, as I said earlier, that Gwen, myself, and Sapor Mearns had written. It's not. I don't think it's quite published yet, but hopefully soon. To talk a bit about the different aspects, you'll see Inuit knowledge, pathways, and practices, and harmony and balance right in the center. And with that, we have Sila, our land relationships. Sila, it is a powerful reminder of the interconnectedness of all things in the world and of the importance of cultivating a deep and respectful relationship with the land and sea. And when you heard that story, you could, I don't know if you could feel the connectedness and the respectful relationship the people had with the Nuna. That's something that is often or is always seen in our hunting culture. And then the next one is Ilaginniq. Among Inuit families, family units are large and extended. It does not only consist of, your brother, sister, mom, dad. It's tied to your name. Whoever was related to your namesake is now a part of your family. They are the ones that will teach you and guide you in life and make sure that you're growing so that you can contribute to your community. Inuit kinship encompasses not only biological relationships, but also social and emotional ties between individuals. Inuit kinship ties extend beyond the immediate family to include a wide network of relatives, adopted family members, and close friends. Ilaginniq is a huge part of what a health system is. Next one is Panniqtuuq. People are seen as connected to each other and to the land and animals, and collaboration is seen as a way of ensuring the well-being of both individuals and the community as a whole. And by that, I think what we've been talking about is OneHealth. In the story, working for the common good, the family work together to go camping and to make sure that they will have a safe journey while they go out camping. Ikayongnak, a strong emphasis on cooperation and helping each other exists. It exists because historically the demanding Arctic environment required people to work together for survival. This is paired with a strong sense of sharing and generosity, and it is common for people to share food and resources with those who are in need. You'll notice, and I think someone had mentioned briefly yesterday, how when a child catches their first animal, that is always shared with either, their sanayi, their maker, who was there when they were born, or sometimes to the elders. And when if you have seen that, the children will go to the person with the meat, and usually the best part of the animal is given to the sanayi, and the sanayi will burst with joy, giving the boy or the girl, the person, so much pride, so much self-confidence, so much amazing feelings that come with what seems like a simple task. And then the next one is Inuit Qaujimajatuqangit. Individuals are valued for their ability to contribute to the well-being of the community and to show compassion and generosity towards others. When we're doing our day-to-day stuff, Inuit Qaujimajatuqangit is at the core of what we do. We want to make sure that we're humble. We don't boast about ourselves. That allows us to be even and equal with everybody. Next one is Panniqtuuq. It is a fundamental concept emphasizing the importance of perseverance, hard work, and patience in achieving personal growth and development. When we're children, like Lucy was saying yesterday, how when we're children, we'll be asked to go fetch water, for example, and we're not told, you're too young. We're just told, you got to do it. You just do it. And that is a part of Panniqtuuq. Whether or not you're good at it, your skills and abilities are recognized. And when they are recognized, then you get to do them more and more and then get good at it. Is often associated with activities such as hunting, fishing, crafting. In these activities, individuals must develop a deep understanding of the natural environment and acquire a wide range of practical skills in order to succeed. And then the next one is Inunguinak, the last one, making a capable human being. And the meaning of Inunguinak, to make a capable human being, is someone who will be able to help others with a good heart. So someone with a good heart and mind who is always aware of their surroundings. In the story, we talk about never asking questions and observing. And when you are taught to do that, you then learn a technique that you observe every little thing in your surroundings. So for example, if I look here, if I had known all your names, I maybe could point out, or how many cups are on this table. I could see that and then exactly remember that there were that many cups on that table. That's just a bad example, but you become very, very much aware of your surroundings, and then it helps you to gain and develop those skills without necessarily asking questions. Because later on in life, as you grow, as you use Inunguinak throughout your life, those things that may never really have made sense while you didn't ask questions, even though you really wanted to ask questions, they will come to you. You will understand those. later on when the time is right. So when you are aware of your surroundings, then you will be quick to think and be able to look at the brighter side of different situations. This person is always ready to help. This is called Inuit Qaujimajatuqangit. This quote was said by Qaujigiartiit, who was Panniqtuuq, and it was said in 2017. So with that, I really thought about how in a Western context, OneHealth might mean multiple jurisdictions or jobs and positions are needed, like what Inuit was saying yesterday, and that is very true. But I also think that OneHealth and Inuit worldview is so much simpler because it's ingrained in our taboos, and it's ingrained in our language, it's in our practices, it's who we are. And when we are given the opportunity to utilize our strengths-based Inuit health and well-being system, then OneHealth is done just naturally. It's just a part of our living. And that's just something that is my personal perspective, but I wanted to say that. So I know that there are multiple models all over the world that we now use in our system. Some systems don't work for some populations, and models can be important tools to help public health professionals and researchers to better understand the complex factors that influence health outcomes and to develop effective strategies to support good health outcomes and address poor health outcomes. For example, models applied in Canada are often derived from the dominant culture and academic perspective. However, models that are responsive to local contexts and are locally driven have meaning for the population they are intended to serve and contribute to building better health systems. So I think that this Inuit Qaujimajatuqangit health system model is a great example of working Inuit building things like this to better help our communities. So that's Inuit Qaujimajatuqangit health system model. Qoyan nami.